think I found one of my top 10 Korean barbecue places in California. Best bang for your buck for authentic Korean barbecue. It's a place called Sukdal, and it's located in Garden Grove. All Korean barbecue is kind of pricey, but for the quality you get, it's really good. And the price isn't that high. Highly recommend it. That's right. You know what time it is. It's time for Business Bites. Business Bites. So for this week's Business Bites segment, I'm going to talk to you guys about a wine workshop. This could work many different ways, but the key way I was thinking is a bed and breakfast or a chateau type of place where you can buy the property or rent the property pretty much anywhere. It could be, I was driving through Utah last week. It could be in the scenic areas of Utah. It could be in the vineyards of California. It could be central, northern California. It could be even in Temecula, wherever you could find some scenic land with a good, either bed and breakfast type of house or somewhere where you can have even mini homes that you can lay out in a pattern. You would basically be making a vacation type of resort, out of this. But the whole backbone or the whole premise of going to this place is to actually learn how to make wine. And you could do this as a workshop in an urban setting, in maybe even the artist district of downtown Los Angeles, or especially I think it would work best in a scenic area, whether it's a beach area or a mountain area or a hilly vineyard area or whatever, but somewhere where you can find some peace and quiet. The way you go about it is you go ahead and bring a group of people, stay at your place, and you have workshops throughout the day showing you how to basically make wine. And then you invite them back to the location, when it's time to bottle the wine. And in between, if they want to show up and stir the wine, that's fine, just to get some air in there and circulate it. And, during that process of fermentation, you're going to want to keep stirring that. So, if they want to come and be hands-on, great. If not, you have your staff go ahead and do all that for them. But at the end, they end up making their own label and bottling their own wine. And this getaway workshop experience, basically it's an experience. So this getaway workshop experience is something different for people, something that you can have a blast with. And for the people that really get into it, you could actually start providing sommelier training, hopefully so they can go ahead and become more immersed in the whole wine experience, But anyway, I thought I'd throw it out there. And like I said, this could happen in an urban setting. It could happen in a rural setting, in a beach setting, whichever setting. And you can provide, events. You can provide, obviously bed and breakfast, lunch, dinner, just like team building events, whatever. There's so many things you can do with this kind of one interesting concept, the winemaking concept, and then you can branch out and monetize so many different ways. So I thought I'd share that with you guys. And from this point on, you can take this idea and run with it. Like what other variations or what other profitable concepts can you come up with, And, like I always remind you guys, these business bites are not foolproof business ideas. They're just thinking points for you to, conceptualize potential business ideas or kind of mull over different angles of different business ideas. So anyway, hope you enjoyed listening to that portion and hopefully something good comes out of it. Business bites. Yeah, I'm in Barstow right now and it's raining. Woke up to rain. I'm at a truck stop headed to Salt Lake City today, but hopefully this weather isn't this bad all the way up to Salt Lake. I have a feeling it's gonna clear up here once I start driving. So slept with the air conditioning on and woke up to rain. Been having a little bit of a scratchy throat because I have to have the AC on all night. So I want to talk about trying to navigate through a committed relationship without having it fall apart. Now, all relationships, if you're committed, if there's a lot of energy invested into it, it will be challenging. There will be drama. There will be times when you don't see eye to eye. And there's this concept of, especially in marriage, when two become one. And for some reason, we want the other person to think identically to the way we think. And we want them to be as we are. We want the two of us to be one unit. And in concept, that's great. But in reality, I don't know anybody that's, like that, glued together and just completely one unit like that. And it's something to aspire for, but it doesn't necessarily mean that's the only and the better way. I believe that people will grow at different times. People will have their own personalities, and everybody has their own strengths and weaknesses. for two people to become identical is kind of shortchanging yourself. And I want to encourage you people that are in serious relationships or committed bonded relationships to make sure that you guys give room for each other, for their shortcomings, for their faults, for things they don't do well, and celebrate the things they do well. But at the same time, everybody grows at different spurts. And for you to selfishly want them to be at a certain place or do things a certain way, I think, let me back up. In some ways, it's healthy because, yeah, you should be kind of driving each other to better places, but not in toxic ways or at toxic levels. So make sure that there's a healthy level of encouragement going on, but don't sit there and just degrade and demean or like just negative energy just pouring out on that person. Just avoid all that because you're in essence, you're hurting yourself, because that person is a part of your life. And you want to make sure that you guys are on the same page, but you guys are still two different individual people with different strengths and weaknesses that come together. And when you make that one unit, it's actually a more diverse and beautiful unit than two identical clones that are, not really complementing each other. You know what I mean? Anyway, I just wanted to share that because, as truck drivers, when we're out on the road, there are times when tensions can rise in our relationships. And so I want to make sure that we have a chance to kind of reflect and think about our lives and what we're going through. And, just contemplation and reflection, I think, is vital in keeping our sanity and keeping healthy relationships. So I hope that helps. So I stopped here at Terrible's in Jean, Nevada. That's the old hotel that's closed down. Cloudy skies, but no rain here yet. So this is a good place to stop because the restrooms are clean, usually. And you get your own private restroom instead of sharing a stall next to somebody else. It's a good pit stop for when you're headed up north or coming back down to either Las Vegas or Salt Lake City and back down to SoCal. Good morning from Salt Lake City, Utah. Sunrise is pretty amazing. So I was driving through Nevada about 40 miles north of Las Vegas, and in the distance I saw some storm clouds and some rain coming down, and I thought, I'm going to be heading into a storm, but it doesn't look that bad. And so I proceeded to go forward, and it was raining lightly, and then it started coming down harder, and then it started coming down even harder, and then it was a crazy downpour. I'm talking, all the vehicles in front of me started putting on their brakes and going super slow because the wind and the rain was just out of control. And then after about, 5-10 minutes of it, we came out of it and back to a light rain and then to no rain. So that was a very interesting experience because just drove right through the eye of a storm, and it was it was pretty crazy, pretty intense. What's going on, my people? So as you can see, I am officially in my Sonny LAFC gear, Los Angeles Football Club gear, and tonight is it's actually Sunday, August 21st, and we are having a game. Hopefully we do well, making a run for the playoff positioning. Very small chance to get in the top two, but never say never. Some mosquitoes hovering by me, so I gotta reposition myself. But anyway, so this week was a decent week. We ended it with 2,080 miles. But the great thing about this week was it was a 4-day week. I only worked 4 days and managed to squeeze in 2,080 miles. This happened because they sent me up to Salt Lake City, and I was able to do a quick round trip to NorCal and back, and then drove up to Salt Lake City and back, and got home Friday night. And then so I got a 3-day weekend and still squeezed in 2,080 miles. It's not a bad week. So can't complain, right? But this week didn't have too much drama. Everything was smooth. And like I said, one trip to NorCal and one trip to Salt Lake City, and now enjoying a restful weekend and starting it up all over again on Tuesday. So thank you for following me on this journey. God bless all of you. Peace. And until next time, cheers.